The medieval narrative Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is a wonderful account of the Arthurian hero's fine qualities of character, steeped as they are in honour, chivalry and bravery. The awe-inspiring Green Knight dramatically rides his horse into the court of Arthur, which is in the midst of a 15-day feast in celebration of Yuletide. Whilst there are some Christian overtones to the narrative, the story may well harken back to an earlier date and the original form of Christianity as practiced by the ancient peoples of Britain. In any event, it's a great tale for Christmas, beginning with a decapitation challenge issued by the Green Knight. One of your knights may chop off my head, in return of which he shall come to my green chapel in a year's time in readiness for the same. The opening is interesting in that it relates the founding of these ancient isles by Brutus, a historical fact that was known to all schoolboys in the not too distant past. After the siege and the assault of Troy, when that burg was destroyed and burnt to ashes, and the traitor tried for his treason, the noble Aeneas and his kin sailed forth to become princes and patrons of well nigh all the western isles. Thus, Romulus built Rome and gave to the city his own name, which it bears even to this day. Anticius turned him to Tuscany, and Langobard raised him up dwellings in Lombardy, and Felix Brutus sailed far over the French flood and founded the kingdom of Britain, wherein have been war and waste and wonder, and bliss and bale oft times since. Thus begins the ancient medieval narrative poem Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. It's a tale for the Yuletide, one which has been embellished with Christian mythology and context. Nevertheless, with its references to the giant knight, the chivalric codes of honour and the court of King Arthur, it's a compelling narrative which pulls the listener's imagination into the foggy realms of Britain's ancient past, linking the arrival of the Aryan Phoenician Brutus and his people to these islands and the establishment of Britain as a nation. The poem has associations with Lud's Church in the Peak District National Park, a region bestrewn with ancient megaliths, waterways and buried tunnels and dwellings. When one examines the evidence of these ancient origins of the British nation, one is struck by the moral magnitude and sheer size of these noble men, who face challenges and obstacles. The world leaders are mere pygmies by comparison, and I mean that quite literally. For wherever I turn, I see dwarves who ponce about on the stage of the world's WEF puppet show, goblin-type figures with tiny hearts and short statures. Off the top of my head, Kissinger, Macron, Sunak, Zelensky, Starmer, Johnston, Xi, Putin, Kim Jong, the President of Ireland, whose name escapes me right now, all of them are short arses. Now this may give rise to the question, are we actually looking at some kind of Napoleon complex? Are these midgets spurred on to higher positions of power because they're short in stature? Why is it that there are so few men of stature in the geopolitical realm? The only one I could find of any stature was the President of Serbia, who was reportedly 6'6" tall. Does it even matter? I don't know, but I do know this. Repetition means that there is no coincidence. I wrote previously of the limp-wristed men who ponce about on the world's geopolitical stage, tap dancing to the tune of the Rothschild-dominated WEF, and acting as if the ungodly plans of the deep state are a fait accompli. The false edifice of control is cemented only by the compliance of the enslaved. As I walk through the streets of this town, I notice effeminacy in myriad forms, from men with brightly coloured hair clad in half-mast trousers and other ill-fitting garments, to the obedient rebels with their hipster beards and tattoos, to the shuffling NPCs whose shoulders are bowed by their compliance to their dark overlords' pronouncements. It's easily observed that those who comply, who readily pay their unlawful taxes and whose lives are superficially ordered with wives, school-reared, vaxxed offspring and a 3-bedroom semi, belong to the most gullible of classes, the educated and comfortable, chattering or middle classes. Matthias Desmet makes the point that this is a predictable aspect of mass formation psychosis. It is as though their lives have been rewarded not for their maverick or independent qualities, but for their ability to regurgitate that which they have been indoctrinated with throughout their days and years in a false education system. A system of brainwashing to which they have no defence, such is their complete lack in the ability to think critically. Previously, such a milieu of people would be referred to as the bourgeoisie. Such types choose safety over life. They never rock the boat. They defer to all the isms, feminism being the most deplorable. They do as they are told. Put the muzzle on. Do as the white coat assassin decrees. Do not question the narrative of the mass formation engineers. Know your place. All is good, are the hollow mantras of these hollow men. It's a recipe for stagnation and disintegration in which the lies are the neurotoxins that poison the man. Adding to the mix a poisonous cocktail of food, drink, television, drugs and misinformation, bake at 350 degrees centigrade for half a life and serve the crumbly cake with a hefty dollop of delusional custard. I know these type of men. Some of them are friends, and 23 years ago when I was head of English at a secondary school in Leicester, I was in danger of being sucked into the same false reality where safety was the dominant MO. When I jacked it all in to go east to the Himalayas, I was knowingly taking a risk. But I had questions that I needed answers to, and, wrongly as it turned out, I thought those answers would be found in the mystical teachings of the East. Those teachings, in their essence, are that there is nothing to fear but fear itself. Fear is generated by living in the past via memories and the contemplation of an uncomfortable future. Nostalgia, remorse and worry are its twin peaks. This poem by Rabbi Burns is the essence of that wisdom. Tea mouse. Still thou art blessed compared with me. The present only toucheth thee, but och, I backward cast my eye on prospects drear, and forward, though I canna see, I guess and fear. In his essay On Danger, Ernst Junger wrote, "The bourgeois person is perhaps best characterized as one who places security among the highest of values and conducts his life accordingly. His arrangements and systems are dedicated to securing his space against the danger that at times, when scarcely a cloud appears to darken the sky, has faded into the distance. However, it is always there. It seeks with elemental constancy to break through the dams with which order has surrounded itself." Adam Isker, who is apparently the pastor of 4th Street Evangelical Church in Waseca, Minneapolis, comments, "It is the total antithesis of the most fundamental Christian ethos, which is my life for yours. The people who demanded the country be shut down for years so they could enjoy their safety, while entire school years were cancelled, while there were no senior year of football, no prom, no graduation, no freshman year of college, no weddings, no funerals, and nothing but isolation and despair. These people who did this are no different from the cowardly cops of Uvalde who stood outside for an hour listening to the screams of children." He continues, "God created Adam to guard and defend the garden and everything in it. So often that verse is translated to make man's basic God-given purpose to be a gardener. No, God created Adam to be a warrior, to face danger, to defend his domain against threats like a lying, talking serpent. Adam failed, and in his failure we have been subjected to even greater dangers since. But this did not change what God created men to be, warriors." If we return now to Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, he uses a decapitation challenge fully in the knowledge that his offer will not be refused by the men of Camelot. It could not be refused. The Green Knight is well aware of the honour, courtesy and chivalric codes of these men of the Round Table, and his challenge illustrates this. "And here, as I have heard tell, is fairest courtesy. Therefore have I come hither at this time. You may be sure by the branch that I bear here that I come in peace, seeking no strife. For had I will to journey in warlike guise, I have at home both hauberk and helm, shield and shining spear, and other weapons to mine hand. But since I seek no war, my raiment is that of peace. But if thou be as bold as all men tell, thou wilt freely grant me the boon I ask." And Arthur answered, "Sir Knight, If thou cravest battle here, thou shalt not fail for lack of a foe. And the knight answered, Nay, I ask no fight. In faith here on the benches are but beardless children. Were I clad in armour on my steed, there is no man here might match me. Therefore, I ask in this court but a Christmas jest, for that it is Yuletide and New Year, and there are many fain for sport. If any one in this hall holds himself so hardy, so bold both of blood and brain, as to dare to strike me one stroke for another, I will give him as a gift this axe, which is heavy enough in sooth to handle as he may list, and I will abide the first blow, unarmed as I sit. If any knight be so bold as to prove my words, let him come swiftly to me here, and take this weapon. I quit claim to it. He may keep it as his own, and I will abide his stroke, firm on the floor. Then thou shalt give me the right to deal him another. The respite of a year and a day shall he have. Now haste, and let's see whether any here dare say aught. Thus the brave Gawain wields the mighty green axe. He swings it high to bring it down and chop off the head of the Green Knight. In the same way, the pendulum will swing back. It is a matter of when, not if, and at that point, the aforementioned manginas will fall away, being no more than a fetid collection of simpering carbuncles on the arse end of mankind. In the end, Gawain's courage and honour triumph over the Green Knight, and all his previous fears fall into nothingness aside the newly acquired improvements to his character, resulting from the journey he undertakes in the dark heart of Yuletide. As all valuable teachings demonstrate, life is not about safety. Man is not here to be a meek pussycat who eats from his handler's table and gently purrs over the dystopian visions of his masters. No, man is here to be a warrior in truth under God's law. All else is a lie. Thanks for listening. Please like, share and subscribe, and if you're able, chuck a few quid into the Rogue Mail Yuletide pot by way of a donation. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all the very best this Yuletide and into the coming New Year. Cheers, and once again, thank you very much.